Hey, what is up guys? It's your boy Speed here, and today I'm going to be giving you 5 tips to simply gain MMR. Now, on my smurf, I actually just hit 7,620 MMR, which is officially higher than my main account, which is at 7,610. Therefore, for the smurf series, well, there's not going to be any more smurf series, but I'll be doing a road to 8K series on my main account. And for this video, I'm just going to be going over some of the tips and some of the realizations I've made over the last 4,000 MMR I've gained on this account, the BSJ profile picture account. So if you guys are excited for this video and you want to learn more how to just simplify your game, make solo queue a lot easier, and simply win more MMR, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's get into it. But before we do, remember that we do actually run a website. Believe it or not, if you click the like button, you'll eventually get 50% off on the gameleap website. Not right now, but if you click the link down below, you can actually go check out the website. We post content there every single day that's going to help you get to the next level. Literally, I make videos on so many different topics. I just started making an invoker course, for instance. Before that, I did a support course, and you can check these videos out over on the gameleap website. You're gonna watch them and you're gonna be like, wow, Speed, I wish I knew from the beginning how great this service actually is. Nah, I'm just playing, but it actually is. So click the link down below, go give it a shot, and I'll see you guys there. So the first thing I wanna say, I actually wanna start with a clip. Okay, this is my mid laner, right? I'm actually playing Nyx Assassin in this game. In fact, the game I won to surpass my main account's MMR was this exact game. Nonetheless, we're looking at a mid laner clip, okay? He goes in, he's trying to make an outplay, commits Sleight of Fist. Honestly, I think he commits a little bit early because generally you want to use it to dodge Boundless Strike in this matchup if you're going for the kill. It's besides the point. He ends up dying. Okay. Why does this matter? Besides the fact that he's obviously going to be tilted, the thing you need to note is that Monkey King is 2-0. He's not 1-0. He got first blood on me. Now, this Ember Spirit died. What do you guys think he did? What do you think he did? Like, of course, he blamed me. And somewhat rightfully so. I died first blood to the Monkey King, giving him an early boots, and that obviously could have been the difference between him dying or living there. 100%. He started flaming me. What did I do? What did I do? And this is my first point in the video. If you are trying to gain MMR, the only correct response when someone is tilted is to say nothing. There's nothing to say. There is, unless you are the best social worker, the best person that has ever existed, there's nothing to say. There's literally nothing to say. If you want to gain rank, and that's the purpose of this video, you cannot say anything when people are tilted. I know it's tempting. I know you want to tell them that they're dogs. Like literally, he probably didn't even have to die. I mean, definitely didn't have to die there. Just that's my first tip. Most of the video isn't going to be mentality, but I cannot stress these first 2 points in the video and how important they actually are. In fact, they're much more important than mechanics. I know you don't want to hear that, but let's get into the next clip. All right, so in this next clip, we're setting up a huge gank onto their Wraith King, right? So he's got no reincarnation. We have a 3-man smoke gank, me, AA, and Pango coming to kill him. This is with a Vendetta. This is obviously a very free kill. It's a very free kill. Ice Blast, Swashbuckle, my ulti, this guy's dead. Now, you guys probably know what's about to happen, why I'm showing you this clip. Well, he actually doesn't die because I hesitated on the stun and therefore missed it. Now, what should you do in these scenarios? Because this is what you guys are going to relate to, right? I've been identified as the scapegoat. I'm the scapegoat. If my team starts losing, Ember's going to keep flaming me, and it's very likely my team is going to join in the bandwagon, right? Because that's often what people do. Especially if I miss a stun like this, right? This is obviously my fault. I'm not trying to deny that. So in the scenario where you're the scapegoat like this game, you're supposed to say nothing. But point number 2 is actually, let's say my team is on good notes, right? We're on good terms. Me, Pango, and AA, you know, we're chilling, we're having a good time. In that case, I think it's good to say my bad, right? Just take the blame and move on. Don't say anything else. Just keep it simple. Once again, everything is about saying as little as you possibly can, other than making useful calls. Therefore, you don't clog your brain, and you don't clog your teammates' brains as well with the fact that bad things are happening. For instance, the Medusa. I don't want to tilt her. I don't want her to think like, oh, I need to show up to fights. I need to help out. You know how many carry players get baited to help out in fights because they're position 4, position 5, or position 3, even mid laner is like, oh my god, we're losing these fights. Oh my god, I can't believe this thing's happening. Then the safe laner is like, oh, I have to help. And it begins this spiral of bad plays. You have to avoid this. Don't bring up the bad scenarios. Just keep making space, keep making plays, look for the next Impale, look for the next Vendetta and the AA Blast. All right, my third point is that you shouldn't pick Monkey King. No, as much as I dislike this hero, that's not actually a point. But my next point is actually one that is very advanced. So this one is going to take a little bit of time to implement, but when you get good at it, it's insanely powerful. So the concept is that the fact that people just overreact to everything, including MMR players. If I show you the rank of this game, you're going to think, wow, these are some quite good players. Rank 200, me at 200, 100, right? Really high ranked game. However, people make mistakes. They're humans. So if they make the mistake in the 7K MMR bracket, it's going to happen in your bracket, 2K bracket, 1K bracket, 3K, 4K, 5K, 6K, 8K, 9K, 10K. It doesn't matter, right? What is the tip? I go on this Wraith King. Look at what happens. Besides the fact I miss my stun and we lose the kill, look at what happens, okay? Mars TPs, Abaddon TPs, Tiny TPs, Monkey King TPs. Even though we don't actually end up getting any kills, what is my job this game? It's to make the map playable for Medusa and make the map playable for my space creators. Set up kills for my space creators, right? Set up kills and make space for Medusa. How do I do that? You have to make plays optimally on their side of the map to bait these rotations. People always overcommit when you go on their teammates. What I mean by that is even though they end up killing my Pango here, right? So they kill my Pango and they get the tower. Even though that this happens, what is the downside, right? Imagine if we also killed the Wraith King. Think about it. Imagine if we killed the Wraith King and they TPN and we get out because we don't have to overcommit because I missed my stun. Think about how good this play actually is. Now it might be like speed, but I'm not a Nyx Assassin player. I'm a safe lane player. I'm a mid lane player, you know, etc., etc. It does not matter. Do you guys know the clips where, for instance, Thompson is playing Monkey King and he'll go on like a full HP Wraith King, commits his ulti, commits his stun, and the guy lives with like half HP, and you have to think to yourself, like, why in the world would he do that? Why in the world would he go on someone who, guys, trust me, he knows he cannot kill, right? He is the expert of Monkey King in this example. It just does not matter, right? Even this death here, as much as a bad play as this was, okay? So I broke a smoke. Like, that's the first thing to know. I broke a smoke, which was obviously headed for my Medusa. Even though I should not have committed for this, I should have just stunned and ran away. The point is people overcommit. Look once again at what happens. And if you think that this won't happen in your pubs, you are out of your mind. All people do in pubs is group up. So what I'm saying is run at someone even alone. If you don't know what to do when you're losing, especially when you're losing, go onto the enemy side of the map, go to the side lanes, don't go mid. Don't go mid because then the enemy team will kill you and then do whatever they want because they're mid. Go to the side lanes, go die, and you will make way more space and have way more farm. All right, this next one, the fourth point, I know I say it all the time, so I'm gonna keep it short, but buy the smokes and buy the wards. Guys, this is a top 300 game. Look at our shop at 23 minutes. It's just bad. It's just bad. You know, there's nothing to say. It's the best item in the game. This is the best item in the game, probably the second best item in the game. This might be the first best item. This is number 2. It does not matter. If these items, especially if it's smoke, and by the way, you can blame me partially for this, which is why, like, I want to say, you can blame me partially for this. You can blame my mid, my offlaner, everyone partially for this. You cannot have 2 smokes in stock. You need to have them ticking. They need to be off cooldown so you can get another one later on to the game. If you find yourself not using them, well, that's your first mistake. The second mistake is not buying them and not using them consistently enough, and same thing with wards. Right now, for instance, if I'm scouting bottom, I could throw one down in some deep area, then TP out, and we could use that for a kill, a smoke later on into the game. There are so many situations where wards change the game. Literally one observer ward, a free item, can dictate an entire team fight that ends up winning you the game. And last but not least, you have to change. This is my favorite point of the video. It really is. If you guys are gonna take any of these like extremely serious for the next week and like really make sure you focus on them, I recommend it be at this one. So the point is as follows. It's much easier to gain MMR playing heroes that can scale and then buying items that let you scale than the reverse, right? Playing heroes that don't scale and then buying items that don't help you scale. So let me give you a couple of examples of not scaling heroes and items, and then we'll get into the other way around. So 2 heroes that really immediately come to mind for me, number 1 is Enchantress, and number 2 is Tiny. Now, you'll see Enchantress is actually a quite popular hero in high MMR games. That's because people really know how to abuse timings and play around their edge, and, you know, just like microing and things like that. The hero doesn't scale that well, though. I mean, it sort of can. It can do okay if you go certain items, but people don't know how to farm with it, so it just doesn't usually scale, and the hero's win rate is awful as a result. It just doesn't do enough in the late game. It doesn't have a stun, it's slow, is dispellable, you know, like, etc., etc. And then we have Tiny. The hero's spells are useful. In fact, its talents are very useful. The problem is, it's not like the best farmer in the game. It's okay, it's not the best farmer in the game. And you compare it to something like a Nyx Assassin, who has far better disables in the late game and can purchase an Agam's Scepter, which will single-handedly win teamfights in the late game. Which do you think, on average, is going to be easier to win with in your average match that goes from 35 to 45 minutes? It's not tiny. It's Nyx Assassin. So if you're playing 4, you should pick heroes like Nyx and get good at them. Obviously, you still have to be good at the heroes. And now to quickly get into the heroes that like are better, I don't want to list off a ton. I have other videos on it, like heroes that I think are good for solo queue. But you know, Medusa, Viper, even though the hero can actually fall off, you have to play him in a way that makes you scale. Please keep that in mind. If you play Viper, play him in a way that makes you scale. For carries, as I said, like the Medusas, the Lunas, the heroes that farm. For offlane, Broodmother, Mars if you're going to split push, Timber are so much easier to play. And now let's look at a game example that will hopefully help you guys get a grasp of how I want you to think about the game. Now, this was a stomp, okay? But I'm playing Sand King. What do I rush? I rush a Vanguard. This item allows you to do what? Protect towers and stay in lane. What does Vanguard let you do? It doesn't let you roam, okay? When you roam, you fall off. As an offlaner, as a mid, as a core, unless you're getting kill after kill after kill. Now that's super unreliable. Alright, it is. And I'm not saying like, oh, this is some like bad Blink game. I have a Lina, I have a Skywrath. It's a good Blink game. But it's also a game where I know my lane is easy. I'm against a Spectre. I can simply buy Vanguard, which is good at any stage in the game. I'm against, you know, TA Spectre. It's quite solid. It lets me defend towers. I have a Medusa on my team. I'd like to stall this game to some extent, right? Not to the super late game necessarily, but to an extent. And I want to farm. That's the number one. It's solo queue. Even if I was to rush a Blink, what does that require me to do? Now, I'm not trying to dissuade you from communicating or working with your teammates, but it does require me to work with my teammates. And it's much easier to do that the higher and higher you go, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't let me snowball, snowball, snowball. It doesn't let me go for solo pickoff plays and carry team fights. It just lets me get off a few pickoffs, which can help you get there, but once again is unreliable. So look, I go Vanguard, then I will go for the boots, the wand, the blink. I get the Blink Dagger, I make a bunch of plays with it, and for my next items, number 1, I go Bots, and number 2, I go Sanj. This was going to become a Sanj and Kaya. Now, I looked at this game and I was talking to my friend Yamson, who's a ranked 40 carry player, and he was basically telling me, hey, you need to go Sanj and Yasha. I was like, why not? Why not just go Yules? It looks like a great Yules game, right? I can dodge Meld Strike, I can get out of Treant's ultimate, I can get out of anything from Willow, essentially. It's good against Phoenix to a large extent, Fire Spirits, and just in general being able to kite away from his damage. So I thought it was a great Yules game, but it doesn't help me scale, and that's what he was saying. He's basically like, yeah, if you want to gain MMR, you just need to do the things that make you scale. And this doesn't mean like, oh, if your team needs Yules, or if you're playing position 5, you have to go Midas. It's not what it means. It just means if you're playing core, or let's say you're playing like Ogre, maybe you should consider actually going to Midas. Or if you're playing Dark Willow, maybe you should push in more waves. Actually, you definitely should push in more waves. And that's the point. That's what these builds let you do. Yes, this game ended early, but if you look at my net worth, it's quite high, right? I'm at 12,000 when my mid laner, who's 4-1 with more kills than me, and is Alina, is at 12,500. And that also helps these games end early, because you're going to find yourself pushing in more waves, zoning people out of side lanes, and all in all becoming a better player. So I know that point was long, that was a lot for 1 point, but I just beg you guys, start working on that right now. Nonetheless, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. By the way, at some point I'm going to stream my road to AK. I'm going to do it on Twitch. I'll let you guys know more about that. Nonetheless, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's get the AK. Let's get to the next rank, whatever it is. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. And that's all, but remember, before you leave, come on, before you tune out, subscribe to the GameLeap website, where we are going to help you get to the next rank. If you're stuck, click the link down below, and I'm out. Peace.